ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Westland High School here in the Southwestern City School District. Tonight on Matt's side, we've got a couple of very solid duels for you. Coming up next, it is Olentangy Liberty taking on Central Crossing High School. Both of these teams have some of the top individuals in Central Ohio. Both of these teams are expected to be at or near the top of the podium and atop the leaderboard when you talk about the Schottenstein Center, the state finals, come the end of this 2015-2016 wrestling season. Glad to have you along here on Matt's side. It's our first event of 2016. I am Ryan Mitchell, your host tonight. Reagan Mitchell is our cameraman running things behind the scenes today, and we are glad to have you along. Olentangy Liberty and Central Crossing going at it in the first match. We will also have Central Crossing against Dublin Coffman. Now, unfortunately for the Comets, they have a few of their big horses out. We will talk with Jamie Ramirez about that, as well as Chance Van Gundy, the coach of Dublin Coffman, and we will talk with Mark Marinelli of Olentangy Liberty as well. Those Central Crossing Comets, 4 big guns, out of the lineup tonight. In high school wrestling, you're only allotted 20 points, and what that means is that's the number of events you're allowed to wrestle. Some things count for 2, some things count for 1, some things count for 3. Those 4 wrestled at the Ironman tournament. Cameron Teacher won the whole darn thing, and many people think that is the toughest tournament in high school wrestling, not in Ohio, but in the nation. So Teacher won the Ironman tournament, but he and 3 teammates, by virtue of using up 3 points on that tournament, are unable to go tonight. That's going to make things very, very difficult for Central Crossing. So get yourself a snack, your favorite beverage, and sit back and relax. Coming up next, it is Matt's side. We're here with Mark Marinelli, the coach of Olentangy Liberty. Big duels tonight here. And first, before we talk about tonight, let's talk about the season so far. There's a lot of hype coming around your team. There's a lot of good wrestlers on this team. Coming into the season, do any of your wrestlers kind of feel that extra pressure? Because Central Ohio usually doesn't have that on its shoulders.
I wish our guys felt the pressure a little bit more, but they're really a pretty loose bunch, maybe almost a little bit too loose sometimes.
That makes sense. It's a very tough balance because wrestling is such a difficult sport. There's a fine line between pushing kids past the point where they're willing to go and pushing them as far as they need to go to be their best. How do you balance that?
Well, we try to get as many guys mat time as we possibly can, and that way it keeps us pretty cohesive as a team, and it makes our whole team work a little bit harder and make some camaraderie.
Now, there's a lot of, the rankings are what they are. You can take them, you can leave them, whatever it is. But there are a lot of kids on this team that have some high expectations. Does that sort of build upon itself in the room when you know, and all these kids know what the rankings are. The internet is so ubiquitous now, they can find that. Does that sort of help them push one another to their better heights?
I'm not sure if that does or not with our guys. Although they are a pretty confident bunch, I don't hear them talk much about the rankings. I just think they just flat out like to wrestle.
Yeah. Now, you lose John Furness, senior, state champ last year. He's got a brother on the team. It seems like there's a lot of family on this team, brothers that are here and maybe have gone on, brothers that are currently in the room. How does that help?
It helps a lot. I wish we had more. Okay, if we had more of that, then I think we'd have a little bit better team. So, I mean, you get people used to the system, and then usually the younger brother is benefit a little bit
right.
more.
Now, the Lawson brothers have come into your program this year. How have they kind of seemed into what you're trying to do? Because I know you've built a pretty good program here.
Well, they fit in real nicely. They're 2 good boys, and I like them a lot. And they're hard workers, and most of the guys on the team enjoy them. And they fit into our school real nice.
The teams we're going to see tonight, you guys, Central Crossing, Dublin Coffman as well, these are all teams with a lot of very good individuals, and particularly yourselves in Central Crossing. When you talk about teams in the state of Ohio, there's a lot of hope around them in Central Ohio. Northeast Ohio for a long, long time has dominated the scene, and I know you're very familiar with, when you talk about Central Ohio from your time with DeSales, being at sort of the top of the heap or in that category. But in Division I, that hasn't happened a lot. Is that exciting in Central Ohio to have a couple of teams that are knocking on the door?
Yeah, I love competition, and our league is a great league.
Pretty much.
And we could probably have, I don't know, last year we had 4 or 5, 6 guys in the finals just from our league. So I think the bar keeps getting raised a little bit. Central Crossing is a great team. Westland usually has a really solid team as well, and Dublin Coffman's here, and Marysville and Delaware Hayes, and our programs are growing and looking better.
Last thing I want to ask you about, part of the thing that's helping particularly your team grow is the great facility you guys have. You've been in there for a year now. What impact has that had on your ability to do what you do? Because when you've got a small room or facilities that aren't conducive to good wrestling, it makes things more difficult. Does this make your job easier?
Actually, I'm just getting used to it. It's a bigger room, so it's hard. It's a little different on me coaching because guys are spread out. So it's actually it might be a little bit harder to coach really. But it's better because the guys have more space to wrestle, and we get in better shape because they continuously wrestle and don't bump into walls as much.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. All right, well, thanks for being with us. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
We're here with Jamie Ramirez, the Central Crossing head coach here tonight on Matt's side, our first event of 2016. And Jamie, I know you got some kids out tonight, which certainly hurts, obviously, because they're big competitors. But basically the reason you had to have them out was because they went against some of the best competition in the nation in the Ironman tournament.
Yeah, unfortunately, our 4 guys that participated in Ironman will not be wrestling tonight because you're only allowed 20 points. And Ironman's 3 points, and that's a point over on our schedule. So they have to sit out of a duel. It gets tricky. These are 2 tough teams here tonight. We don't want to have them sit out, but our options are kind of thin.
Right. And for Central Crossing, it's not like other schools maybe where you're 2-3 deep at a weight class in every weight class. Particularly, and I know your workout facility, it's a great room for the people that you can get in there because it's the low ceiling, you can keep it nice and warm in there, but there's not a ton of room, so that doesn't really allow for a big numbers team. So in a dual meet, that really hurts you guys.
Oh, definitely. I mean, especially those guys that I mentioned that are sitting out, if they're not competing right now, we're just not able to win many dual meets.
Right.
Regardless of who we're competing against. Our kids behind them aren't ready, I don't think yet. Some of them will get an opportunity, we'll see. And then our upper weights, we're missing an 82-pounder, and then we're only 1 deep in some weight classes. So if they're out or they get injured, we're in trouble.
Now, Robbie Fusner was a guy that was with this team for the last 3 years. From the time he was a freshman, you could see this guy was a horse, and he was hard to handle. But he's not with the team this year. Was it football injury keeping him out or future football plans?
Well, yeah, it's an injury. He didn't compete. It just breaks my heart. He didn't compete in the football season this year either.
Oh.
So he had a total knee tear. I don't know exactly what you call it, but he total ACL tear, MCL, and he had to sit out his entire football season. So and so he's currently rehabbing it. I talk to him quite frequently. I see him. It's just tough. We feel bad for him. I mean, we definitely could use him.
Right.
This is a great senior class I got, and he's a part of it. And just to see him sit out and miss it, it's heartbreaking.
And there's a couple of youngsters on this team as well. You've got 3, a lot of people are thinking potential state finalists this year. How exciting is it for you to see the individual growth of some of these guys and kind of project out where they might be at the end of their career?
Yeah, I mean, rankings are rankings. We talk about this a lot, but we just had a conversation the other day with the kids saying to seize the moment. You're going to graduate and you're going to look back and, hopefully you don't have any regrets.
Right.
So you have to take advantage of the opportunity now. And if you got an opportunity to win it, you need to go for it. And every little thing you do is going to decide whether or not you win it. If you are not running hard in sprints that day, well, that's not a good sign if you want to be a state champion. If you're laying on your belly in a live match and the last minute, that's not a good sign you want to be a state champion. So we're just trying to preach and talk about the little things they need to do to get where they want to be.
Last thing, how exciting was it for you when Cameron Teacher won the Ironman?
Oh yeah, I just love watching Cam. Everybody does. Everybody was coming up to him at the Ironman saying, what a crowd pleaser he is, and how he's a heavyweight that just keeps shooting. And he was in a tough match, and he pulled it out, ended up sticking the kid. And what a prestigious tournament! And we're expecting big things up from him this year.
All right. Well, good luck, and good luck moving forward.
Thanks.
We're here with Chance Van Gundy, the Dublin Coffman head coach here at Westland High School. And, when we talk about Dublin Coffman, we've got a lot of really solid individuals on this team. Dom Demas, obviously, state champ a season ago, placed as a freshman as well. Does he kind of just lead this group?
Yeah, he leads on and off the mat. He's He's obviously a talent, but his work ethic's improved tremendously since his freshman year.
Around him, though, on the team, there are a couple of other solid individuals. How much does he help raise their level?
Well, I think when you go to big holiday tournaments, GMVWA 57 teams, and you have one guy sitting in the semis, you have a few guys that are trying to kind of keep up with the Joneses, so to speak. And Ben Fry's the kid that's emerged this year, a 220-pounder. He's been injured the last 2 seasons. I knew he was going to be something special, and I'm just glad everyone else is seeing that.
When you miss time like that over a couple of years, how difficult is that to make up in wrestling? Because there's very limited practice time that you get to work with the kids. They can work in the off season, but how much do you miss with injuries?
Well, speaking of Ben, Ben's a special kid. I mean, he's a great student, just a great leader. He just lives right. So he's a great football player as well, and we're just happy to have him with our program. He's a great leader, only a junior. So again, we're looking forward to some big things from him.
You've coached one of the teams that's wrestling here tonight, Central Crossing, at Bishop Reading, now at Dublin. What are some of the differences in some of the stops you've been at?
The kids are kids. Honestly, their challenges are still the same. I love it in Dublin, but we did have something special at Central Crossing at one time, and they're obviously doing really well now. And I know most of that team. I had them in youth wrestling, and I knew that was going to be a special group. They were passionate for the sport, and you see that even as high school kids. They got a good group there.
Talking to Jamie Ramirez, and I've been in that room. I remember back when you were the coach, I came into that room several times. It's a unique spot. It's small, it's tight, it's hot in there. Does that sort of build camaraderie when you're in a place like that?
It does, man. We had a blue-collar mentality over there. We have the blue mats, and we just kind of fed off that kind of the whole Boise State football thing, and I had a great experience at Crossing. Wish things were different in terms of the levee failure in 2009 and all that. So.
And you always had the classic rock and the modern rock blaring in there, too. I always appreciated that as well.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for being with us. Good luck today. Getting set to start here with Central Crossing against Olentangy Liberty. 126 pounds, Jordan Roselli in the royal blue with the red and white going against J.D. Woods. Or excuse me, Devin Wood, rather. And it's Roselli in on a quick takedown to go up ahead 1-0 against Devin Wood. Roselli riding hard here, up 2-0 in the period. Central Crossing, we talked about in the open, down a few wrestlers. Or excuse me, and I said Jordan Roselli. We're starting at 126 pounds. Zach Furness going against Devin Wood. Zach Furness, a state qualifier a year ago, one of 7 returning state qualifiers for Liberty. His brother John Furness won the state title at 138 pounds. Graduated, moving on to Cornell, and now looking for another takedown. Furness, he's got it, and he's got some more. He's got Devin Wood on his back with a lot of time left. 20 seconds to fight off. Full complement of back points as the clock ticks down. Wood fights off his back and will live to see another period. Furness, a junior. Wood is a sophomore. Here at Westland High School, home of the Cougars for a long, long time. A sectional tournament site here in Central Ohio. Always great hosts from that side here. We're glad, of course, to have you along. Our first broadcast of 2016, first regular season event of this wrestling season. We had the All-Star match earlier on. A Fred Feeney production. Furness reaching back, catching ahead, but rolling things through that time. Devin Wood. It's right back where they started with just over a minute to go on the clock. Wood riding pretty hard here. Calling card of Central Crossing High School. The ability to be very, very tough on top. Clock down to 15 now. Score is 7-1 in favor of Furness. And Devin Wood is going to ride this period out. So now with choice, Wood chooses bottom. Quick roll through attempt. Furness just follows right along. This Olentangy Liberty team has really grown over the past few years. They've had guys very, very tough. The elder Furness, Giuseppe Pinzone, over the past few years. Boy, big step over with that wing. And once again, Devin Wood's in a bad neighborhood. Long time left on the clock, 1:33. Furness needs to elevate that head to lower the hips and put some pressure across the shoulders, but he's got plenty of time to adjust. This is not an easy place from which to pin a man. Now he's got that bar in on our near side. Oftentimes you'll see a top wrestler try and sit out. It looks like that's exactly what Furness wants to do here. Sit out to bring the shoulders to the mat. Get his own head high. Sneak those hips through, because when you're chest down, it's very difficult to get the weight and leverage necessary to put those shoulders down. Now coming across the body. Furness has the back points in his hip pocket. Now they'll be awarded as soon as he breaks the lock, and there they are. 10-1 the score. 40 seconds to go in the match. Near side cradle. Furness gives it up. Far wrist ride. Now with the 2-on-1, what turn does Furness want? Wants to suck that bar up again. Had good success with it at the beginning of this period. Up 10-1. Well, he's going to get a tilt with some points here. It won't be enough for the tech fall, but it will give him some extra. 3 more on the back, and for bookkeeping purposes, the final score 13-1. Zach Furness with the victory, and that will put Liberty on top by a 4-0 score with a major decision. And that'll take us to 132 pounds. J.D. Woods, the senior, taking on sophomore Luke Dargay. Liberty, like Central Crossing, missing a couple of the key cogs from their lineup tonight, but not nearly to the extent. Little barrel roll from Woods. He's going to turn that into a takedown. He's got the forearm bundled up, trying to make some back points out of it. Scooches the hips across. Could not hook the hip with that left foot. Woods 6th in districts last year. Heard his name bandied about in the state rankings at 126 pounds. Going to work on that left shoulder. Leg ride, barred up. Scoop that head, looking for back points. Referee begins the count. Woods trying to hold his position to make sure he gets the 5 count. He does. And now might put himself in a position to get even more. He's got that deep half in, out to the side, chest on chest. Dargay fighting for all he's worth. 40 seconds remain in the period. And now the period and the match is over as J.D. Woods, with a pin, will give Central Crossing the lead. 6-4, they have the advantage right now against Olentangy Liberty as we go to 138 pounds. Sophomore Ryan Fay and freshman phenom Carson Karchlava ranked 4th at this 138-pound weight class. A couple of youngsters, but Karchlava comes in highly touted. Freshmen aren't common at 138 pounds, especially freshmen this accomplished. Right into a takedown into the out-of-bounds line. The whistle blows. Successful freshmen are often seen at the first few weight classes, up to 120, 126 pounds. That's not unusual at all. You start getting into these middle weights, and freshmen oftentimes find it tough sledding.
I would try to destroy all this, but this one, I destroyed all those with the you don't need to.
Just threw his hips in there and has got a tilt. He got a 1 count the first time around, did not score. See, Karchlava does a great job at applying pressure from the top. Got that leg in, but doesn't really have any of his body parts. Now he kind of does, but before didn't have any of his own body parts touching the mat, making Fay wear his entire body weight. Shot from Fay, stuffed. Karchlava gets the corner. He's got that ankle bundled up, very close to a takedown. He's got it. The lead at 4-1 for Liberty here. 30 seconds to go in period number 1. 2-on-1 tilt there. Referee begins the count. He got a couple of 1 counts. There he got a 2 count. Karchlava will have some points coming his way, and there they are. 6-1 the score. And more on the tilt. Did we get a 2 count or a series of 1 counts there? Looks like the referee has 2 fingers down and now 2 fingers up. And so it is 8-1. A couple of quick tilts for Karchlava there near the end of the first period. Choice belongs to Ryan Fay, who will choose top. And we're going to get a caution called against Fay for his jarring of the opponent on his mount. And now we're underway. Karchlava quickly to his feet. Has a front headlock. Now turning the corner. Has not been given an escape, but he will be given a reversal. Yeah, so the points continue to mount. 10-1 the advantage here in the second period. Karslava releases Fay. 8-point match now. Karslava takes the shot. He is accomplished, but you can see some of the areas for improvement that are available to this young freshman on that shot. Didn't really clear the hands. Sort of rough getting through there. But boy, the shot had enough oomph on it to, despite that, still get past the defense of Fay and get in and score the takedown. 10-point match with a minute to go in period number 2. Karslava, after giving the escape, working with the 2-on-1. Nice little shuck by into another takedown. Plenty of time to work with here. Just under 30 seconds to go. Looking again for that tilt. If he can get a couple of more here at the end of the period, that would put a capper on this bout. A little arm bar with the tilt going, and now got a 1 count from our referee. There's a 1 and a 2, so he will get 2 more points here. If that's it for the period, we'll have a third. 16-3 is the score as the period comes to a close. Well, scoreboard says 14-3. Maybe it was a series of 1 counts. So an 11-point match here. Karslava just trying to hip it over here. Overhook, inside leg. Now he's just going to spin away. Go for his 1. Looks like should have it. There it is, finally awarded. 15-3 reads the scoreboard. And a match that has been all Carson Karslava to this point. A lift and no takedown as they go out of bounds. Karslava had 1 foot in, the other had passed the line.
Can't sit us that hole while seeing it.
Minute 20 to go. Arm drag set up there. Don't see that often any longer. A nice low ankle pick shot for Karslava to score the takedown. That makes it a 14-point match. Any further points in this sequence will end the match. Again, going for that tilt, trying to load him up on the hip. Karslava needs to elevate a little bit farther. And watch his own back in the process. They're out, a restart. Coach Michael Zucker sitting over in the chair. Calls for neutral. Karslava will give the escape. If he gets a takedown, the match is over. He does, and it is. 19-4, Tech fall. Carson Karslava. With, as Bob Dealey would say, a technical superiority puts Liberty back on top, 9-6 after 3 bouts. And we will go on now to 145 pounds. Derek Werzoff, a senior, takes on Kyle Stewart, also a senior for Liberty. Werzoff is one of those guys who is, we've seen him over the past couple of years, had a lot of bouts where he really had to fight. He's got to fight here. He went for a lateral drop and did not score it, and now he's in trouble. He's always been more of a brawler, more of a wrestler with heart than technique. Here, those arms are bundled up, and he is in some trouble, fighting off his back. Stewart looking for the first period pin here. And credit Werzoff with fighting off his back, escaping a situation where he was really in a lot of trouble. Yeah, potentially dangerous situation there. Quick sit for Werzoff. Going a little headhunting here. Trying to get to the side for that cow catcher. He's going to get one, but that is all for now. So they're back to neutral. 5-1 the score. Stewart on top. A little underhook and a kick and a pick. And now it's Werzoff. Looks like he could end up. Well, no, didn't get any points. Boy, it looked like he had Stewart stuck flat, but only really had the one arm controlled. So the referee decided that was not enough control. Under 20 to go now. Yeah, there's the end of the first period. Now you saw a lot there from Werzoff that we have seen before. Went for the big move. Didn't quite hit it. Here's a switch attempt. Left his arm behind, and so Stewart is able to maintain control. But then once he got into a bad position, Werzoff was able to gut it out, get out of that bad position, and work to an escape. Werzoff here just trying to get back to a base while Stewart had one leg in, throws in another, looking to work on the upper body and put him in concert to wind up with a turn. Very stark difference in body styles here. Kyle Stewart, long and lean, a very tall 145-pounder. Werzoff, shorter, stockier. Great pressure from Stewart. Like we saw from Furness earlier on. Boy, they go out of bounds, and that is a break for Werzoff. And a bad break for Stewart. Stewart wound up in great position with Werzoff on his back flat. Quick escape for Werzoff, back to neutral. 5-2 the score. Shot there, and now Werzoff winds up with the takedown, just bowling his way through. Now down a point. Stewart leads it 5-4. For the first time in this match, Stewart finds himself in the position of disadvantage, but he will still have the lead as we go to the third period. Choice to Stewart, he'll take down. And immediately Wurzoff says, let's go neutral. So it's a 2-point match here. Boy, nice job for Wurzoff getting in tight with the underhook, but now gets bundled up. He really needed to go more quickly than that. You're talking ties with a much taller wrestler. You've got to be quick. Wurzoff with a shot and a lift and a takedown near the out-of-bounds line. And now out they go. Back to scratch here. 6 apiece in the third period. And the bench saying, kick him again. And now we'll see where conditioning gets into the mix. Again to the underhook. Stewart, with such a height advantage in those ties, he can really lean a bit on Wurzoff and make him bear his weight and use up some of that precious energy. Boy, there is a charge from Wurzoff, and Stewart knew what to do with it. The over-under toss gets the takedown. He's got some back points to go with it, looking for an airlock now. Couldn't quite get that. Wurzoff fights it through, but now a big disadvantage for the Central Crossing 145-pounder. The scoreboard reads 12-6. Wurzoff had battled all the way back to tie it up. Looked to be applying the pressure and then made the mistake of just rushing in. There's the escape. And now Wurzoff needs a 5-point move of his own. He's got 35 seconds to do it. No stall calls on either wrestler. The body style of Kyle Stewart reminds me of Nick Mengrick, who wrestled for Cary, a 2-time state champion. Went on to wrestle, I believe, at Pitt. He's so long and so lean, and in fact, Stewart on top in that last sequence attempted one of the Mengrick patented tilts, reaching under that far pec muscle and that far ankle. Wurzoff looking to tuck that head under, and he did! They're calling no points here. There was a similar situation on the far side of the mat earlier in the match where Wurzoff had Stewart flat on his back, but only controlled one arm. Boy, if that's in the center of the mat, that's a whole different ball of wax. But as it is, the match will end 12-7. Very entertaining match. Kyle Stewart gets the win, and Olentangy Liberty increases their lead, now 12-6. And we will move on to 152 pounds. Central Crossings junior Brandon Fields takes on Connor Thomas. Thomas working that underhook, doesn't have head position to go with it, but finds himself a shot anyway. Good throw by into the shot. Now looks to finish onto the mat, and he does. Just briefly, Fields down to a hand, and that was enough. Central Crossing missing several of their powerhouse wrestlers in this duel. Once they get behind, it's going to be tough to make up points. Armbar now. Thomas now has his man in criteria. The count begins, and now begins again. Thomas with the full 5 count is going to be up 5-0. If Brandon Fields can fight his way out of this. Long time to go in the period, 50 seconds. A reset now. There are the points awarded. So 5-0, Thomas on top, now into a cradle. And there it is. This is that cradle that's tough to pin with while you're getting points because that inside shoulder is up. So you have to sort of loosen your grip on your man to let that inside shoulder come down a little bit. But Thomas is going to be content to get those 3 back points and move on to something else. Up 8-0 with 15 seconds left in the period. Time enough to work another turn. But near the out-of-bounds line, not a whole lot of real estate to do it. And the clock will expire. So we will go to the second period with choice to Olentangy Liberty. Thomas, rather than deferring, will just take down. Boy, the breakdown attempt there of Brandon Fields just had no effect whatsoever on Thomas, who held his position, now gets to his feet. And now as Fields drops to a leg, hanging on desperately for control. Thomas working as much as he could, a whizzer in there, now elevating the near side leg. This is just a situation here for Fields where it's desperation time to hang on, and he can't. So Thomas is free. And we will get a pause in the action as they go out of bounds. 9-0 the score, minute 27 to go in the second period. And there's a quick go-behind takedown for Thomas. Like his teammate Kyle Stewart, long and lean. Covers a lot of real estate with the wingspan, with the shot depth. Got a break in the action here, and I'm not entirely sure what for. The referee talking about a clasping of hands. And so we're going to get an illegal hold. 1 point awarded to Brandon Fields. So 11-1 the score now. And back points coming. And maybe more. Referee looking at the shoulders, and there is the pin. So Thomas scores the pin on basically what looked to be a roll through there at the very last moment. 18-6 now. Liberty up on Central Crossing as we go to 160 pounds. Ethan Leapley for Central Crossing. 13-5. He was 6th at the district tournament a year ago. Finished 8th at Medina this year, but he has taken on a buzzsaw. Junior Kyle Lawson. In his first year wrestling with Olentangy Liberty, wrestled as a freshman and a sophomore at St. Paris Graham, where he won 2 Division II state championships. One as a freshman, one as a sophomore. And gets a takedown. And boy, just a body lock. Lawson with great position. Throws it over. He's got back points coming here. And now works the half and works for the pin. Very nearly had it. He had him down for a 1.5 count. Needed 2. Kyle and Trevon Lawson both moving in to the Liberty District. It doesn't happen often that St. Paris Graham has wrestlers leave the program. Very often over the years, people have moved into that school district because of the wrestling program. Boy, very nearly. Lawson wound up on his back, but such great feel for position and tremendous hips. He winds up right back on top and looking for the pin. 30 seconds left in the period, but we're not going to get anywhere near that far. There's the pin for Lawson. And the Liberty Patriots continue to roll. 24-6 now as we go to 170. Trevor Lawson at 170 pounds. Brother of Kyle.
Good thing he did.
Trevor Lawson taking on Mason Morris in a battle of sophomores. Lawson with a quick takedown, up 2-0. Lawson ranked 8th at 170 pounds. Josh Lowe of Intermat, Ohio, his brother Kyle, ranked 1st. Unsurprisingly. Boy, tried to tuck the far side, and once he got enough pressure back his way, Lawson then worked the near side, now goes back to the far side with that arm bar. Certainly has back points. And now sits out with the double arm bars, and he may well get the pin here. Boy, that is tough sledding right there when you're caught in that position. Morris fighting it off for all he's worth. This may wind up potentially dangerous before it winds up a pin. Referee right on the scene, watching that right shoulder, which is elevated. So the back points are awarded, making it 8-0. Lawson just runs that half over. That is tight. And he gets the pin. First period pin for Trevor Lawson. 30-6, the team score. And we are going to have a forfeit at 182 pounds. Central Crossing will not have a contestant. So Cole Fitzpatrick will take the forfeit. We'll go on to 195 pounds. For Central Crossing, Luis Bolanos Cruz. Jake Kendersky will go for Liberty. Kendersky wearing the gray singlet. Patriot logo on the side. Senior against a freshman here. Kendersky ranked 15th at this weight class. Trying to find the opening. A snap into a shot. Running out of room, but does a nice job just with a couple of mild changes of direction to wind up on top for the takedown. Two to nothing. Kendersky with the lead. We have seen Olentangy Liberty be very, very tough on top. Not much going on here with a little bit over a minute left in the period. We're up into the big eaters now. Neutral as Bolanos Cruz gets to his feet. OCC shot. And that's not going to work out well. The youngster did not keep his momentum going forward, and Kendersky just played the role of brick wall, puts his man on his back and pins him. And that is how that one will end. Another pin. 42-6 now. Liberty up on Central Crossing as we go to 220 pounds. Liberty junior Josh Fisher will take the mat. Freshman Bobby Logan for Central Crossing. It's like both of these guys are content going upper body. Now they go out of bounds. Front headlock, standing front head from Fisher. And now trying to turn it into a cow catcher. Can he get Logan off balance enough? No, they separate. Both of the big fellas trying to feel each other out here. And we talked about the 4 top wrestlers for Central Crossing all being out of this duel. That includes Cameron Teacher, the second-ranked heavyweight in Division I wrestling. So Central Crossing will forfeit at heavy in the next match. A lot of these young Comets getting some time in the lineup, getting an education. Two big fellas go out of bounds. Fisher trying to control the ties. For Logan, it's been mostly defending his own position rather than trying to impose his will. Not surprising when a freshman is taking on a junior. There's the end of the first period, no score. Fisher chooses down to begin the second period. Out of bounds they go. Quite a lift for the freshman Bobby Logan. Fisher was able to get to his feet relatively easily. Right there, like Logan wants to throw some legs in, unusual for a big man. But every day in the room, he's wrestling with Cameron Teacher. There we see it doesn't work out for him. He got too high, and Fisher able to slip him. Teacher, though, we will not see him wrestle tonight. Doesn't wrestle like a heavyweight. He is shooting. He's trying to score all the time. He is quick. He's got very, very light feet. He had a disappointing state tournament last year, Teacher. Many expected him to be at or near the top of the podium. And this year, only Illyria's Kevin Vo is more highly ranked than Cameron Teacher. He won the Iron Man, which many will tell you could be even a more difficult gauntlet to run than the OHSAA state tournament. There's schools not only from all 3 divisions of Ohio wrestling, but from all over the nation. The best come to wrestle at Walsh Jesuit at the Ironman. Teacher bested them all. Jaden Maddox again finished 3rd this year at the Ironman. Maddox won the Medina Invitational, as did James Weimer. Teacher won that as well. Weimer along with Maddox, Teacher, and Jackson Laxo competed in the Ironman and so are not able to use those points tonight for this duel. 2-0, still the score. After Fisher's reversal of Bobby Logan here in the 2nd period. Actually, we're now into the 3rd period, with Logan on bottom and just flat on his stomach. Fisher just making him take all of his body weight. Not a whole lot going on here, but we're going to get a stall call on Fisher. Now, it's not hard to see why. He was parallel riding the hips, not really getting out to the side to do much of anything. Trying to work that 2-on-1 arm control. But again, here you've got a situation where Bobby Logan isn't really making too much of an effort to get to a base. Now he goes. Still 2-0. Fisher with the lead, now make it 2-1. Escape for Logan. And Fisher's anklet came out attached to the singlet of the young freshman.
Someone showed the title.
40 seconds remain, 1 point difference in the match. Forehead to forehead, double collar tie for both wrestlers. Nobody's going anywhere there, boys. Now, if you're Fisher, you don't have to go anywhere. You've got the lead, but you do have a stall call against you. And they're out of bounds. Another stall call against Fisher would tie the match. 10 seconds remain. Looked like Fisher had an opportunity to score there, didn't take it, so he will be hit with stalling, and that will tie the match. And we will go to overtime. Well, I think if Fisher had really tried to close in when Logan was back on his heels, he would have been able to score, certainly. But further, it would have definitely eliminated that stalling call. Once he backed off, the referee sensed he was just trying to protect that lead and let the clock expire and hit him for the stall call. "30 seconds to go in sudden victory overtime. Here's the shot. Fisher looking to score. He's got Logan on a hip. If he can swing that right arm free, he will have the match. Time running short, 10 seconds left. Needs to pop the head. There it is, the takedown for Josh Fisher. And a 4-2 overtime win. (45-6) is the team score. The duel is well in hand for Liberty. After a forfeited heavyweight, we're quickly back to the action here at 106 pounds. Hudson Leapley and Luke Blaine, and Luke Blaine is going to make very quick work of the freshman Leapley. And so that is how that one ends. It doesn't take long. $57-6 is the team score. Liberty has this one well in hand. We'll have a forfeit here for crossing at 113 pounds. Bracken Mead, last year's runner-up at 106 pounds of the state tournament. Well, no, he's not going to take the forfeit here, looks like. But it is a forfeit nonetheless. So we're on to 120 pounds. Jordan Roselli and Zach Collins. Our final match of this duel. Collins, a junior, state alternate last year. Roselli, a state qualifier. Roselli ranked 9th. Son of Lou Roselli, assistant coach at the Ohio State University and the coach at the Regional Training Center here in Columbus for Olympic hopefuls. Ohio State head coach Tom Ryan. Coaching his son Jake Ryan now at Ohio State, and Jake came through the Liberty High School program as well. Shot by Roselli. And now a reshot by Collins. Nothing doing. No score here in the first. Collins stuffs the shot, looking to turn the corner, can't quite do it. And there's the end of the first period. Roselli won a handful of matches at the Brecksville tournament. Did not place at, we're talking about Medina. Central Crossing wrestled at the Medina Holiday Tournament, and Liberty wrestled at Brecksville. Dublin Coffman, who we'll see, wrestled at the GMVWA. All three very, very tough holiday tournaments here in Ohio. Collins trying to score first points. Off the bottom, will do so. Goes up 1-0. Hand and wrist ties here for both wrestlers. Minute to go in the second. 1-0, Collins with the lead. Zelli with a half shot, now winds up with a leg whizzer for Collins. Under 30 seconds to go here. No movement by either wrestler. We'll have a stalemate here. Yes, indeed. Looks like Roselli keeps peeking over at the clock. Collins in on a shot. Not much time to finish it. Roselli works the legs away, looking for the takedown. Clock down to 1 second. No one will score. So after 2 periods, 1-0, Zach Collins has the lead. Roselli's choice, and he will take bottom. And very quickly free. It's all knotted up at 1 apiece. This match has been largely devoid of scoring opportunities as both wrestlers is tying the other up. Neither able to create an angle or get a free opening here. Collins stuck on his knees. Now both wrestlers 1 foot and 1 knee on the mat. And Roselli tried to pass the arms and set up a shot. Could not get into the legs. 45 seconds to go here in the 3rd period. There's a shot by Collins. He's in deep, but Roselli with good strong hips able to sprawl away. Hasn't broken completely free of the grasp yet. But Collins' arms fully extended underneath. That is rarely a good position. Whistle blows as a stalemate is called. And there's a quick go behind. No, not getting the points. Collins now does. 15 seconds remain. Biggest flurry of the match. And now if you're Roselli, you've got to get a reversal. Only 5 seconds remain. If you're Collins here, hang on or cut him free. And there's your match. Zach Collins scored first with an escape, scores last with a takedown, and he wins it by a 3-1 score. And despite the fact that this duel did not go well for Central Crossing, they will finish on a high note. The final score, 63-9. Olentangy Liberty pummels Central Crossing in the team score. Crossing had many of their top wrestlers out tonight. That, of course, had an impact on the duel in a great way, but Liberty just out-wrestled them this evening. We will also have Central Crossing against Dublin Coffman tonight here from Westland High School in the Southwestern City School District. Stay with us here on Matt's side. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Matt's Side. It's our first dual meet of 2016. I'm Ryan Mitchell, your host, and we begin here at 120 pounds with Central Crossing taking a forfeit victory against Dublin Coffman. So we move on to 126 pounds to start things off. J.D. Woods, the senior from Central Crossing in the black and the blue singlet, taking on sophomore Ben Yost of Dublin, Coffman. And we're underway. Underhook immediately for Woods. 6 in the districts last year, Woods. 8-4 so far on the season. Not highly ranked, but mentioned in the state rankings at 126 pounds. Fending off a shot now from Yost. Yost continues to get underneath now with a far ankle pick. Yost is going to score here from the looks of things. No, nice job from Woods to get back to his feet, stave off the score. My goodness, that was dangerous territory. Now is Woods in on the shot for the first time. A little barrel roll attempt. Some disappointing news for this duel as we talked to Jamie Ramirez, the coach for the Comets. The 4 wrestlers he had. Now there's another attempt and a roll through. No, not this time. Woods is stuck on his back. Yost with the takedown with full back points and looking for a fall here in the first period. He's got that neck cranked up high and the shoulders are down, and that is a pin. Ben Yost evens this dual meet after Zach Collins took a forfeit to make it 6-0. Now turning it right around is Ben Yost with the pin. Big win there for the Shamrocks, and we'll move on to 132 pounds. It will not be Jaden Maddox wrestling. Jamie Ramirez talking about the 4 wrestlers they sent to the Ironman being over the allotted point total. Lugman Mohammed, the sophomore for Coffman. Not sure who the wrestler is here for Crossing. My guess is Devin Wood. Now the shot. Actually, Devin Wood and J.D. Woods have been flip-flopping back and forth a little bit between 26 and 32. And there's the takedown. So Muhammad now fighting off the bottom. Out of bounds they go. 2-0 the score. And Coffman in the black and green singlets. Central Crossing in the black and blue. A little false start jump there. First caution of the match. See a lot of leg rides from Central Crossing, but this one's going to turn out badly. And there's a quick reversal. 2-2 now going to be the score.
Keep the legs down. Attack the head. Attack the head.
Muhammad now riding tough as one leg in, fighting for the other. A little bit high now. Muhammad still riding those legs. Now looking for the turn. He's got the shoulders exposed. If he can hold them there, well, didn't quite have the 45 degrees he needed. Period heading toward its conclusion. From our vantage point, we are not able to see the clock very well. 2 seconds, 1, and there it is. So that's the end of the first period. 1 takedown, 1 reversal, and a 2-2 score at the end. Referee wants to install ankle bands on the two. The singlets are different enough, certainly. Central crossing with choice begins on the bottom. Quickly to his feet, but Muhammad brings him right back down. Good second move, recovery, and freedom. There's an escape. And crossing right back in on the attack. Near the out-of-bounds line, and they are out of bounds. This will be a fresh start in the middle from neutral.
Hey, get an angle first.
So you talk about Central Crossing. It's a team with a lot of potential point scorers in tournaments. But in dual meets, they really have to be at absolute full strength to have a hope. There's a nice little ankle pick attempt. Turned into an outside single. Muhammad looking for points, but out of bounds. And so for the Comets tonight, going up against two very tough teams in Dublin Coffman and Olentangy Liberty, their chances of coming out with team victories, missing their four big guns, pretty slim. And there's a takedown on the out-of-bounds line. And now a 5-3 lead. Or excuse me, that was incorrect because of the back points earlier. Scoreboard reads 6-6. It's all tied up, 6 apiece. Stand-up attempt. It looked like Muhammad wanted to go for a standing switch there. And didn't help him in the slightest. And they're out. On the restart, roll attempt. Wood winds up with a leg in. Now trying that crossbody ride. Boy, he very, very luckily caught that trail arm and now is able to pull himself back up on top. Had he not caught that arm, Muhammad was going to put him in a bad neighborhood. Still riding hard here. 15 left in the period. 6 apiece to score. Now Muhammad's going to have choice. Come the third here. Have the ability to break this tie. And he will take down despite not being able to get off the bottom. And on the start again, tries a roll. Clearly very comfortable with that as a go-to. We have not actually that was still the end of the second period. Still a couple of seconds left after that last stoppage. And now we begin the third, and quickly to his feet. Not free yet, Muhammad, and they're out of bounds. Have to restart it. And now we've got a caution on red. That's 1 apiece. Now the stand-up seems to be working better for Muhammad to be getting to his feet, which drives him out this time. Stan will switch. Almost free Muhammad, but again driven down, and now it looks like he's going to get free. Indeed, there's the escape, and out of bounds is the call. A flurry there near the out of bounds line. Shot from Woods. And actually, I have... Boy, here we go now. A takedown. Had a misread on the scoreboard. The 6-6 was the team score. So 7-3 is actually now the lead. Central Crossing has the lead in this match. But in the duel, it's all tied up 6 apiece. Four-point advantage, potentially dangerous, the call. Good restart in the center. And they're out. On the restart, Muhammad not really able to get anything going. Down to 40 seconds left in the period. A leg right. No stall warnings for either wrestler to this point. But the clock down under 20. The referee right on the spot looking for that stall warning. Top man from Crossing trying to get out to the side here now. He has been parallel with the hips. It's usually a wrestler on top with a lead. That'll buy him a stall call pretty quickly. But we're down to 2 seconds now, and that's going to do it. 7-3, the final score. And for the team race, now 9-6, Central Crossing on top. We go to 138 pounds. Ryan Fay, a sophomore for Crossing. Lennox Wolak is a freshman. He'll be going for the Rocks. A couple of youngsters banging heads here at 138 pounds. Shot there, but flattened out. Wolak now gets the takedown and ahead 2-0. Quickly free. Fay makes it a 2-1 score. Now the two wrestle from neutral. Both pretty young wrestlers. In on a shot here, following through, now circling behind and getting the takedown. Ryan Fay goes up 3-2. Wolak quickly to his feet and away and tying the match. 3 apiece here with 40 seconds left in the first. A 2-on-1 for Wolak. Head on the wrong side, really, to do much about it. Fay, a good level change and shot, but can't come away with any real penetration. again, the 2-on-1. This time a little bit better head position. 7 seconds remain as they go out of bounds. Caution on Dublin Coffman that time. And that's the end of the period. They didn't hear the whistle. Central Crossing coaches want to make sure that the choice is correct. In the last match, Dublin Coffman got choice in the second period and deferred. So Central Crossing chose position. So it is Crossing's choice, and of course they defer. It's our choice, but we really don't want choice. We'll wait. Olak quickly to his feet, trying to keep his feet long enough to get hand control here. Now a reach back, and boy, I tell you what, that worked out. It's not supposed to, but it did. Fay tried to rip him across and wound up losing his balance, and now with Fay on his back, Wolak looking for the fall. Shoulders inching down, nearing down. The sophomore trying to fight his way up. The freshman looking for the pin. He's got one shoulder down, the inside shoulder. The outside shoulder remains up. A lot of time left in this period. 1:20 on the clock. That's a long time for a young man to fight off his back, and he's not going to be able to do it. Big pin for Dublin Coffman here at 138 pounds. And they retake the team lead. Now 9 for Central Crossing and a dozen for the Rocks. We'll go on to 145 pounds. Derek Wurzoff will go for Central Crossing, and boy, does he have a task ahead of him. Dominic Demas. Dom Demas was 6th as a freshman at the state tournament. Last year as a sophomore, won the whole shebang. Older brother went to Ohio State. He was a 2-time state champ for Westerville North. Demas in the black singlet. Wurzoff in the blue and black, and Demas in on the attack already. He is an entertainer. He's fun to watch. Great hips. Quick low shot. Look at the penetration, just putting the pressure on. Forward, looking for the underhooks. Wurzoff, who's not careful, is going to get hit with a stall call here. Wurzoff, a senior, gives up the takedown there. Demas looked like he wanted to cut him free. Wurzoff reached for a leg, and now, well, Wurzoff was looking for a Peterson and almost put himself right on his back. Now he's in on a shot. Just ripped over by Demas. No back points as they continue to roll through. Demas now with the cradle. 1:10 left in the period. He'll cut him free and look for more offense now. A shot, not a good one from Demas. Got himself spread out. And there's a takedown. Nice little go behind. Just under 50 seconds to go. Demas went for a cut, little trip. Grabs an arm. And did he get the 2 count for the back points? He did. 2 back points. 6-1 now, the lead for the Coffman 145-pounder. And a head and arm as soon as they get to their feet. Wurzoff winds up on his back, flat as a pancake, and that'll be that. So a dominating performance for Dominic Demas. A pin at 145 pounds. And that'll make it 16-9 in favor of Dublin Coffman. On to 152 pounds, Brandon Fields, a junior. Willie Plaisir, a senior. Plaisir for Coffman. Fields, the junior. See, Place here just wants to own that center of the mat. Good head. Well, front headlock there, turns it into a side cradle. He gets the takedown, can't control it for the back points, however. Boy, what a lift, and on the way back down, looking to keep that far tricep in close to the body, but again, just didn't quite have the angle to drive it over to get back points, but quickly right into a tilt. As the great Bob Daly would say, sequential wrestling. Place here wasting no time. 3 times a district qualifier, the senior. Ranked 14th by Intermat, Ohio. Just ran Fields almost right over his head. Fields never got free, so no escape and therefore no takedown as they near the out of bounds. And it is still control for Place here. He'll be on top. Place here is going to give the uncontested escape here with 55 seconds remaining in the first period. That'll put Fields back to his feet. Fields will get a point. And we're back to it. Boy, what a duck. Duck into a trip. Now you can just see the forward pressure there. The duck under itself was not great technique. But while it had Fields on his heels moving back, Place here was able to throw that trip in. And that's what did the deed. He gets the takedown, quick escape, and now another takedown near the out-of-bounds line. And keeps that head into a cradle, looking for a fall here. Plenty of time to work for it. 22 seconds left in the period. The referee looking for the proper angle to see those shoulders. Looks like the left one is up. 11 seconds now. Place here still has that leg tied up. That's a tough, tough place to be. And with 4 ticks left on the clock, Place here plants Fields for the pin, and the Rocks are rolling. 22-9, they are on top. To 160 pounds we go. Ethan Leapley, a senior for Central Crossing, takes on Scott Allen, a fellow senior. Both district qualifiers a year ago, Leapley finished 6th. This year he was 8th at the prestigious Medina Invitational Tournament. Starting to get up into the big boys here at 160 pounds. 3 pins in a row for Dublin Coffman, 138, 145, and 152 pounds. Has him way on top of Central Crossing. And as we alluded to earlier, with the horses not able to go tonight, Crossing had no margin for error. Near the out-of-bounds line, and out they go with no points scored. Back to the middle for Leapley and Allen. Leapley 13-5 on the year. Has had some mention in the rankings, but mostly at 152 pounds. Now in on a shot is Allen, near the out-of-bounds line. He wanted to crunch that head for a side cradle. Couldn't quite get it. No score with 30 seconds to go here. Maybe now with a hand down on a mat. Better watch that corner. You can see Allen wanted it, couldn't quite get it. Now Allen rushes in, they butt heads. And out of bounds with 12 seconds remaining. Half shot from the outside from Leapley just to close the distance a little bit. Down under 5 on the clock. And the first period will end with no points scored. So Central Crossing choosing down to begin the period. But Allen gave the uncontested escape, wanted to go back to neutral. 1-0, Leapley on top. In on the shot now, Leapley looking near out of bounds, has control, and he's got the takedown. Did a good job of settling, making sure he had one leg wrapped and controlling the far hip to get credit for the takedown. Back to neutral now, 3-1 the lead. Boy, what a shot. What a lift. What a takedown. Tied at 3 apiece. Escape for Leapley puts him back in the lead, 4-3. Plenty of time here left in the second period.
Now that time. Drag. Just hanging on that wrist. Not doing anything with it.
Dance around near the out of bounds over there. Too far out that time for anything to happen. Uh-oh. Awkward situation there. Leapley had his ankle picked up off the ground, knee bending awkwardly. Smart move there by Allen to avoid the potentially dangerous call and just scoot around behind for the takedown as the clock expired. And he will take a 5-4 lead into the third period. He's got choice. He takes bottom. And now we've got some questions from the coaches, my guess is, about the score. Looks like everybody's got everything figured out.
Cover the hips.
Leapley continuing to ride here.
Keep him on his head. Look for a tilt. Bring it. Squeeze it. Forward.
And they're out. And neutral. Now a 2-point advantage. Allen again in on a shot. He's round behind, got to bring him down to the mat, and they go out with no control. Under a minute to go. Leapley needs 2 points to tie. There's a stall call on Allen. Not going to matter a whole lot because it would take 2 more stall calls in under 40 seconds to tie the match. Leapley is still going to need to score some points of his own. Now Allen with a front headlock in good position to, if not score, at least burn some clock here. And they're out. 23 seconds to go. Allen doesn't give ground, but now Leapley on a shot. Can he finish? No, he lost the leg. 15 to go now. Leapley again with a half-hearted shot. That shot won back. Might have. Look out now. Little trip. Leapley looking to turn the corner with 5 seconds. Lost that ability. Now wrist tied up, and there's your match. Scott Allen with a 6-4 win. Keeps the ball rolling for Dublin Coffman. Now a 25-9 lead as we go to 170 pounds. Nate Longo for Coffman. Mason Morris for Central Crossing. And we're underway. Longo in deep on the shot, and he will score it 2-0 quickly here in the first period. Right into a bar half, but didn't have the grip he wanted, so instead he will send Morris free. Another shot by Longo. Step over the ankle, now pop the head, trying to get around the corner to get the takedown. Morris tried valiantly to hold on there with the right arm. Could not stave it off. Morris, a sophomore, 3-6 on the year. Longo twice a district qualifier. Wrestling at Hilliard Derby, but to this point, not yet able to make that next move to wrestle at the Schottenstein Center. Longo went on a shot. Had that ankle low and wrapped up tight and was able to continue to fire through for the takedown. And now a kick out, and Morris turned the corner and shot in quickly, but that shot stalled. Yeah, it looks like they'll go out of bounds. Free point here given to Morris. They're back to neutral. And Longo right back in on the attack, putting the pressure forward. Trying to score near the out-of-bounds line. That last 2 feet of real estate. If you can score there, you can do a lot of things. If he can get under the arms here, he'll get 2 more, and he does. Longo with his 4th takedown of the first period. 12 seconds remain. He'll likely try it. Morris has had just no answer so far for the offense, and now a deep half, and there's going to be some back points. And maybe more, as Longo, if he can settle back a little bit, should have the leverage to keep those shoulders down. As it is, his hips over the top are going to make it a little bit difficult to get the right pressure and leverage. If he can look his head to the sky, that'll lower the hips. You can see him trying to do that now, trying to look his head as high as he can, being that far across the body. There are 20 seconds remaining in the period. Morris keeping that right shoulder elevated just enough. Now under 10 seconds to go, but Longo in a better position, able to get chest on chest and able to get the pin. 6 more points to the Rocks. 31-9, they lead here going into 182 pounds, and that's not going to work out for the Comets. because they do not have a 182. And there indeed the forfeit. So Juan Alvarez, the senior, will get his hand raised in victory and not even break a sweat. We'll move to 195 pounds, and we've got a freshman against a senior. For Central Crossing, Luis Bolanos Cruz, a freshman, against senior and district qualifier for Dublin Coffman, Jimmy Craig. We're also probably going to have a forfeit at heavyweight for Central Crossing. Cameron Teacher not able to go today due to that lack of point availability after wrestling and winning the Ironman. Freshman Vanuelos Cruz in the blue and black singlet. Craig in the black and green, the senior, putting the pressure on. Standing front headlock. Looking for that cow catcher, trying to get the angle. Can't quite do it. Winds up on his back and gives up the takedown. Bolanos Cruz up 2-0 here in the first period. Nice job by the young man to keep his balance, keep his hips where they needed to be. Now for Central Crossing, just such, and it's been this way over the past several years, such a thin margin of error in terms of winning dual meets. They've never really contended for a division championship in the OCC, just because they don't have the depth at a lot of weight classes to overcome somebody being out from injury or not passing skin check or whatever the case may be. Tonight it's the points, taking their four biggest guns out of the lineup, really hamstringing Jamie Ramirez and the Comets. Go out of bounds here. What you know you're going to get out of Central Crossing are kids that, no matter how much experience they have on the mat, are going to go out there and give you their best. 2-1 the score here after the escape. 30 seconds left in the first. And boy, you can just see Craig very confident in putting the pressure on, moving forward, driving. And a stall call against Bolanos Cruz as he continued to back up under the onslaught of Jimmy Craig. You talk about high school athletics, and you talk about a freshman taking on a senior in the sport of wrestling. There's an awful lot of difference just in the physiology. There's a takedown. The difference between a 14-year-old and an 18-year-old. The takedown for Craig puts him up 3-2 with only 8 seconds remaining. Now a caution as Craig came on a little bit too strong there. Jarred his man. You're not allowed to do that. Wants to ride these 8 seconds out without giving up any points, but a nice job from Bolanos Cruz to get to his feet. Nearly cut away for the escape, but the period does expire. After a Central Crossing defer, Craig takes down. Quickly off the whistle, Craig is to his feet. Needs to get one leg back. Can't quite do it on this go. He almost wound up in Chance Van Gundy's lap. Van Gundy, as he talked about when we talked to him, knows a lot of these Central Crossing Comets very well, having in his time coaching Central Crossing come across them in their youth program. Escape from Craig. Puts him up 4-2 now. Miles to go here in the second period. The dual meet is well in hand for Dublin Coffman. Coffman will take on Westland later tonight, the host team. Craig scores the takedown here near the out-of-bounds line. Hasn't been awarded yet, but now it is. And has a half in, but doesn't have a whole lot of room to work. Will need to try and tuck it in. There you see, he attempts it now. As Bolanos Cruz fights it off, Craig goes to work on the far side, trying to turn it back onto the open side of the mat. Bolanos Cruz gets to his feet, scores the escape, and that'll make it a 6-4 score. Excuse me, 6-3. Well, now Craig starting to pour it on, turning the shot away of Bolanos Cruz easily and turning it into points of his own. Now working that far side half, trying to tuck that head underneath. And here is where you'll see the experience and just the difference in musculature, just wear on the freshman. Craig trying to crunch that far side cradle. Knee in the back, pull it over the hip, and there you go. We're going to get some points here. Not always easy to pin a man from this position, but there, as you see, Bolanos Cruz nearly snuck his head out, but by doing so, he put his inside shoulder down, and that will result in a pin. That'll put us at 220 pounds. Another freshman for the Comets, Bobby Logan, will take the mat against Ohio 7th ranked and GMVWA champ Ben Fry. Greater Miami Valley Holiday Tournament, one of several premier tournaments in Ohio over the Christmas break. You talk about Medina, you talk about Brecksville, and the GMVWA. That's 3 spots over Christmas break to really test your mettle. And here Fry, who won that prestigious tournament, with a quick takedown and looking to make quick work of the freshman Bobby Logan. Trying to settle it in there. Looks like he's been given his back points, but because he doesn't have that near arm laced, well, he didn't. Now looks like he's going to, and he's going to get that pin. There indeed. As soon as he was able to control that inside arm, that's when he was able to put Bobby Logan down, set him down for the pin, and that's all she wrote. 49-9. The team scores. Dublin Coffman routing Central Crossing, and they're going to get more here, as there is no heavyweight on the roster with Cameron Teacher out. 55-9 is going to be the score as we will go to the 106-pounders. And this will be likely the last match of the evening. Hudson Leapley will take the mat for Central Crossing, and Kyle Murray will go for the Rocks, with Jackson Lasco having wrestled at the Iron Man. I don't know if there's a 113-pounder available for Crossing. Leapley a freshman, Murray a sophomore. Time is called as headgears come loose. Murray with the front headlock, but hasn't created much of an angle as of yet. Leapley doing a good job keeping square up, but now turning the corner. Murray couldn't catch the ankle. And we are going to have unsportsmanlike, unnecessary roughness for an unnecessary I guess, head snap. Looks like the blood is on Murray. Down to 15 seconds remaining. No stall calls here on Lapley. He's got Murray still down on the mat. Murray now back to his feet. Watch that knee now. A trip attempt, and down he goes. 5 seconds left. 4. Murray needing to get free. He's not going to do it. And Hudson Lapley hangs on. Both wrestlers right out on top in their respective periods. And Hudson Lapley, it wasn't a pretty duel for Central Crossing, but he is likely going to end it in the contested matches on a high note. So Central Crossing is not going to send out a 113-pounder. Morgan Adams will take a forfeit. And that is how this one will end. So Central Crossing didn't have its horses in the lineup today. All of those who wrestled in the Ironman tournament didn't have the points allotted to compete in this tournament. So they were out, and really that was the nail in the coffin before this thing ever began. Dublin Coffman led it really from the get-go. They did give up a forfeit at 120 pounds, but after that, it was just all downhill from there. Coffman ran off 3 pins in a row, just kept winning matches, and when it's all said and done, it is a 61-12 final. So that's going to do it here from Westland High School. The final match here, it was Central Crossing taking on Dublin Coffman. Didn't go so well for the Comets. It went very, very well for the Rocks. They really had things rolling. They had 3 pins in a row and a 61-12 win for Dublin Coffman. Central Crossing again had its big horses out of the lineup for tonight, but hey, it's wrestling. It's next man up, and they filled in a few of those weight classes, and with a lot of youngsters. We saw the experience of Dublin Coffman really sort of come through there at the end and win things for the Rocks. Chance Van Gundy gets the victory over a team that he used to coach there in Central Crossing. We'll have plenty more this season around Central Ohio. We'll be bringing you all sorts of dual meets. We may have a couple of tournaments in there along the way as well as we lead ourselves up to the postseason every year, sectionals, districts, and some of the state tournaments as well. Thanks for being with us. Tune in every night here on the Education Channel. You have been watching Matt Side.